as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, all the mountains should crumble to the sea.
In the meantime, sit back and relax, because I just happen to have Hans Oropallo, our Artist Spotlight of the Week, on the air with me right now. Hey, Hans, how are you doing, buddy?
How you doing, Jim? It's really an honor for you to have me here.
No, it is our privilege to have you. Thank you so much. And I know you really had to kind of mess with your schedule a little bit this day because you're normally, and I wasn't going to bring your age up because I think your talent is beyond your years, in my opinion, just to give you that.
Thank you.
But you are only, and I say that, respectively, you're only 16 years old. And you've you've got this talent. Now, reading your bio, I saw where it says you really didn't even get started doing this until like 3 years ago. How in the world can you pull that out of 3 years? Just please tell me.
I really don't. I don't really understand myself. In the beginning, I kind of did it for fun, like a hobby.
Sure.
As you can say, kind of like a hobby that I would do on the side. In fact, when I started playing guitar in the beginning, my dad kind of had to get me going because my guitar was so big and my hands were so little, and it was just so hard to even play a guitar. And then going into singing, my dad also gave me a little bit of a push on that. I had a battle of the bands at a place called Callahan near our town that we live in, and I was supposed to be one of the lead guitarists. And when our lead singer, who was a friend of mine, backed out, he was like, I can't sing, I can only rap. And we had a big problem. My dad said, hey, this guy can sing. I was flat out nervous.
Well, sure.
It was a brand new experience. And my dad was like, you know what, man, get up there. I said, all right, I'll give it a shot. I was rough. I have to give myself that. I was rough in the beginning, but people said that, your voice sounds all right. So my dad started to get me into singing lessons. I started writing music. True, I did start writing music about 3 years ago, and I guess it changes like a teenager does. Each day he changes. So does the music that I write. Because if I go back to the music I wrote back then, or the way I sang back then, it will be much different than now.
So basically, it's based off of life experience, right?
Yeah. It was all experience. Every show kind of opened up a different side of me. Even it doesn't have to be even music. It could be some kind of life experience that I had during that time. Because I've had a lot of different events happen in my life in that short three years of time, and it helped shape me not only as an artist but as a person.
And you know what? And I appreciate your honesty there, but I'm gonna tell you, man, you got so much talent. You're gonna, if you are writing everything that you're doing off of life experience, my gosh, the world's in for a treat. I can tell you that, because you've got a world just waiting for you. You've got the talent. And then you said, and you were being very humble, I might add. Yeah, you got up there. And you played on the Southern California, the House of Blues stage in San Diego. Now, come on. How cool is that?
That, in my opinion, was a very big leap because of the shows that we'd been playing prior to that show were charities like, we actually really liked playing for charities, like for cancer events and for something called Students for Tots. It's kind of, we play and try to raise money for people, for children that need medical assistance and can't get it themselves. And from there, we actually had somewhat of a big show. Black Entertainment Television, BET, invited us to play, and we got to play with an Atlanta. Not only just play, we got to I got to write half of the song with an Atlanta rapper who's a close friend of ours now. His name is Country Boy Slim, and it was my first collab really with someone else. And we were really the only group that was a band. The other groups were track singers or dancers, and it was a really fun experience to me. I'd never played in such a big crowd before. And going to the level of the House of Blues, it was the biggest group I'd ever seen, family and friends, people I didn't even know. I have to admit, I did have those butterflies in the beginning.
Sure.
I pushed all of us. Like, I was actually proud of my group as well. My drummer was from Germany, so this is the biggest time. This is like the biggest thing he's ever done. My guitarist was from up north a little bit, and the pianist was my best friend. We were blown away just to be playing on that stage.
Now I'm reading your bio, and it says, now, and I've talked to a lot of artists in the last few years doing these interviews, and many of them probably have not done as much as you have in this 3 years. In the 3 years, it says you have performed, I believe this is live 125 times, and that was when we got your bio.
Yeah, definitely. We, as a group, we started out at a really fast pace, I should say, because
I would think.
Yeah, but I don't know how to explain it. Our group had a lot of members, even like not as when we played, but over time. It started out with me and, as I said, my friend Patrick, who is a very, very close friend of mine. Still talk to him today, but it was just kind of me and him in the beginning. I been in baseball. I played baseball with him, and we'd been in Taekwondo together. And so we kind of got together and learned that we each played instruments. I played the guitar and I sang. He played the piano and sang a little bit. So we started to collab. We didn't really write, but we just started to do covers together.
Sure.
My dad got, I don't know how fast he did this, but he got us to play for the 4th of July show in our town of Mira Mesa. And that was, I was like, wow, how'd you get a show so quick? And he was just like, I'll get it for you guys. And we got together, practiced a couple times, hit the stage, and it went from there. We had friends from my school. My first drummer, his name is Malik, who sadly he left due to being a very, very, very talented breakdancer. But when we did have him as a drummer, we really enjoyed his playing. He was very talented. Had a friend named William who played bass, and we let him go because of just because of playing time. After a while, some people don't want to play no more. That was my original group, and time after time, our drummer would leave. That's when we got Sam, who I believe is one of our best drummers we ever had, and he was from Germany. And literally, we picked him up from Craigslist. And
I've heard you got him from Craigslist.
Yeah, put an ad out saying, "Hey, we need a drummer," and he came to every practice. He even if he didn't like the music we were playing, he would play it to as best as he could. He'd always give input, like, "Hey, man, maybe we should try this. Maybe we should try that. Hey, Hans, how does this sound?" And our guitarists, our bassists always flipped around. Sometimes we had 2 guitarists and a bassist together. To free me up on my guitar, it would just let me sing free mic. And each time we got a new person, it changed and revolutionized the way we made music and the way we played music. And time again, we'd be switching back and forth. Rock, pop, something a little jazzy, something a little bluesy. Each member had a different genre that they liked. Me and Patrick were both kind of on the pop side. Our guitarists were usually rock. Our drummers were either kind of funky jazz or Sam. Sam was really into Led Zeppelin, and he brought a little different feel to our music, and that always influenced every little part of it. That got us in 1 year. My dad had started bringing us to other places, and people liked what they were hearing. They started bringing us to venues, and after a while, instead of my dad having to ask to play at places, they started asking us, and we got lots and lots and lots and lots of shows. Fortunately, my dad has a car detailing company, and he meets a lot of people, and he had a lot of friends and a lot of contacts that he could hit up when we needed a show. By the next year, playing on that 4th of July stage, we had a whole group, And I have to say it's one of my favorite performances I ever had because we played on that stage and we blew it away. My dad had us playing kind of in the day, and we worked and helped the music department out for that day until it was the end of the show, about 15 minutes to 20 minutes before the fireworks would start. So there was a huge crowd, probably thousands, almost everybody in Mira Mesa in the park. And so
that's so cool, man.
The DJ said, "Hey, my dad's name's Steve," and he said, "Hey, man, I really appreciate what you did today. Is there any way I could repay you for what you've done today?" And he literally said, "Have my son end this show. Have him and his band end the show, end tonight." And that was the best thing he could have done for us in that situation. We went on stage and we played "Sweet Child of Mine."
Oh, sweet! That was a good song. Yeah.
Very, very good. It was our best song, and towards the end,
a little Guns N' Roses there, right?
Yeah, a little Guns N' Roses
from West Lafayette, Indiana. I'm gonna say they're from Indiana, by the way. If you didn't know that.
Excuse me.
I said they're from Indiana. If you didn't know that.
No, I didn't. But that's pretty interesting.
Yes.
But right at the end, right as I finished saying, "Sweet child of mine," or as I said that, first fireworks shot up, and then it was just lighting up It felt like the fireworks were for us. Of course they weren't, but it felt like cool. Right as the end of the performance, the fireworks went off. It was just one of our favorite performances. May not have been one of our biggest, but one of the more fun shows that we had.
Well, let me ask you something, Hans. You hit on something, and I've asked a lot of artists this throughout the years when I do an interview. You hit on the fact that one of your band members just basically got tired of playing, and now I want your honest opinion and your honest answer, because I know for a fact that sometimes when you do things over and over again, sometimes you have to, your voice gets tired or you're tired or something like that. How do you keep yourself motivated? You've done 125 live shows in the last 3 years. How do you keep yourself there when you need to be there?
Honestly, for me, I don't know how the other members felt, but every time I play a song, every time I sing, every time I listen to even recorded things, I always say, "Hey, it's not as good as it could be. It's not perfect." And every time I make something close to perfect, I feel was close to perfect, I always want to step up each other performance, song, another song I write, whatever it is, songwriting, performing, stage presence, the way I appear, the way I talk, the way I do an interview, and anything like that. I always think, "Oh, there's a big flaw there," or I messed up here. And even if it's such a little mistake, I always think, I could have done that better. And that's how, that's to me what keeps me going, because I want to make it in music. I want it to be my career. I want to be able to make money off this and have a family and have a career in music. And that's what keeps me going, because I always tell myself I'm not there yet.
Well, you know what? I love, and here again, I don't want to make age an issue, but I love your perfectionist type of attitude, because myself as well, when I listen to recordings of me on the radio, I'm thinking, my gosh, why did you say that, or why'd you do this? You know what? And I'm going to be 52 years old, so I believe that people, whether it be you or me or whomever, the fact that when you're really in it, doing the right things for the right reasons, you always do want to make things better. So keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Now I want to ask you, before kind of start winding down here, a couple things. First of all, we have the privilege to play as soon as your interview is over. You with Justice, is it Lucero? Is that how it's pronounced?
Justice Lucero, yes.
Yes. You guys, literally just wrapped up a cover of Stand By Me. Tell us, without getting into too much, because I want the listeners to hear this song, but first of all, this song has been recorded probably 1,000 times, if not more. And I'm talking about recorded, not just sung, right?
Yeah.
You guys, and now I'm going to let the beans out. Your dad did send me a copy here, about a month or so ago of the rough draft, and I was blown away. And now we have the finished product. What went into you two doing that?
All right, this is going to be a funny story, and
please tell.
I really want to give a big shout out to Justice for coming in and doing that with me, and I really, really have a lot of respect, and I want to give a lot of the credit to my studio manager Tony Wilcox, who is one of the greatest people and the greatest influences in people to help me in music right now, because he records all of my music and always helps me make it better. He shows me what I should and shouldn't do for the song, always gives me recommendations, and he's the reason why this song was made, because basically him and his brother were in his backyard and they were messing around with a beat. They were tapping the back of Tony's brother's bumper of his car. They recorded it in the studio. Tony listened to it and said, "Hey, that kind of sounds like Stand By Me." And he came to me and said, "The first person I thought of when I heard Stand By Me in my head was you, and I think that maybe you should record it." At first, honestly, I was kind of skeptical. Like, this song's kind of old. I think a lot of people have done it before, but then I said, you know what? What's there to lose? We recorded it pretty quick, and probably in a week or so. We figured that in the middle there was just a big instrumental part, and it really needed something. And the first thing me and my dad thought of was Justice. He was an old friend that we met through my 130-something performances. We met him along the road, and he was with another group called Jace, with another group that slips my mind right now. But he's in the group now with his sister called Jay City. When we met them, they were really nice, and we talked a little bit and said, maybe we could collab someday, and we never had. And so this was our chance. We called up Justice. Justice was like, "Hey, cool. I'll make up a rap for it," because we needed something to fill that instrumental zone. Came in, rapped it, and I thought that we completely spun the song around. Something no one's ever heard before was this with Stand By Me, and that's kind of how it went down.
Well, they're getting ready to hear it. Thanks to you, we get to be the first worldwide debut of this song. But before we get out of here, how can people find you? How can they buy your music? How can they do all that, Hans?
Some things that you could do that would be very helpful would be liking my page on Facebook, which would be facebook.com/Hans Oropallo Music, and then youtube.com/SOropallo. That's SOROPALLO. And then finally, you can buy my music on iTunes. Just go to iTunes and type in Hans Oropallo.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy life, and you are very busy. I remember being a junior myself in school. So anyway, man, you keep rocking the world. You keep on with that great positive attitude, and you keep on saying, you know what, it can be better, it can be better, it can be better. Because with that kind of attitude, you don't want to knock yourself out too much. On that kind of attitude, you can change the world, and I think you're going to, Hans. So thank you so much for letting American Veterans Radio sit here and talk to you for a little while.
Thank you for having me, Jim. And it was an honor talking to you, too.